and I am going to lay down this flaming arrow AoE. It's area of attack for those of you that don't know. Basically, if they get in that circle, they're going to get hurt. Likewise, if I see a big flaming circle or triangle or something from them like that big triangle, that's an AoE. I'm going to get smacked around a little bit. So it's good to dodge and get out of the way. That's why I love this game, though. It's very interactive. It's not like a 2D sideways game. It's very, very fun. And you can move the camera however you want, which is great. Some people like, and you can play first person if you like. I find it hard to focus on everything going on, though, because obviously, like, oh my god, there's there's AoEs on the ground. But it can be very pretty when you're exploring and stuff like that. And I can show you guys more areas later. I'm not going to walk you through everything. I'm not going to cover the whole story because there are plenty of videos and plenty of people who will give you a full tutorial and walkthrough of the whole entire game, the story, the everything. But to me, I just want to give you a brief feel for what's going on and then let you guys enjoy my playtime in the game. But I do want you guys to be informed, especially if you haven't played an online game. That way you know what to expect. So I just killed these big bad dragons. It looks like, you know, we've got some casualties that were already here. So I can click on this and it says defeat the Dravanian forces at Providence Point. Well, I don't remember where that is. And there's this brief little orange arrow up here that kind of gives me an idea of where to go. But if I forget, I can just click on this and go, oh, it's over there. And guess what? I don't have to run all the way over there. I can click on here to teleport and then run north. That'll be so much faster. And yes, it costs 100 gil, which is gold. It's the currency. But it's so worth it if it gets you there faster because you get gold and stuff from the quest. So to me, time is money as well. So if I can keep pushing and keep getting this done, I'll make that money back. It's not even a big deal. However, if you're new and you want to look around at all the pretty scenery and stuff, sometimes a walk isn't so bad. It is a very pretty game. And the reason I'm able to keep running in that direction while looking around is because I put my bird on auto walk. Otherwise, it kind of follows the direction that your camera is aimed at. So here we've got dragons that I kind of have to walk around. We're going to sneak over here. By the way, if they have this red yellow symbol there, kind of like an auto aggro enemy, if they're anywhere near your level. See, I don't like this one. This is just a nice blue little friendly. So friendly. Sharp pointy ice sprite. But if they're blue like that, they're not just going to run up and hit you. However, like that Downy, if he's back there, he's going to fuck you up if you walk next to him and just stand there. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so while I'm fighting, fill you guys in a little bit more. This game is centered in the world of Eorzea, and Eorzea, I think I started to go into how there was a big calamity and stuff. Well, when the game kind of went flippy-floppy, they just kind of left it at that, and then when they picked up the story, you get introduced as a young adventurer who, you know, there's kind of trouble going on, and you kind of get introduced to it, and as a noob. And oh boy, here we go, there's even more. Anyway, you kind of get introduced to that, and you know that there is a history of some brave people that fought during this calamity, and it's kind of up to you to kind of figure out what the current state of things are, and what you can do to kind of help stop those bad guys, because there's a lot of mysteries involved as to, you know, where they get their power from, who's in charge, and all of that. So you start off, and depending on which job you choose, you'll start off in one of three areas. There's Limsa, which is kind of like a piratey beach, jungle, ocean type area. And then there's Gridania, which is woodsy, and they're kind of cut off from the rest of the world. Although map-wise, they're connected to like everything, but whereas Limsa is out in the middle of the ocean. Um, but they, by the way, my rotation kind of sucks right now, which is why I'm kind of dying because I'm distracted. But I know I can beat these pretty easily because I'm overgeared. Um, so I'll just take the scenic route so you guys can see the map while I yip yap. Like I said, I apologize for those of you that played this. I just want to give a brief idea of everything to everyone. And thank you for watching, by the way, for those of you that are watching. But anyway, Limsa, out in the ocean, pretty place. I love Gridania personally because I love the woods. It's very foresty, and their whole thing is, whereas Limsa's very glory and honor, and for the realm. Gridania's very protective, but they don't like to just go off into war. A lot of people like to call them like the hippie group of the of Eorzea. And then you have Ul'dah, which is very wealthy, but it's through the sweat and hard labor of many people who are often poor and things like that. And it's full of deserts. It's very dry. I think it's kind of like a almost like an analogy of what Ul'dah is. There's rich resources and it's got beautiful sunrises and it's very aesthetic that way, but underneath it all it's very dry and very, very lonely. And then you have this here. This is Coerthus. It's kind of on the edge of everything. And as you progress through the story, this character here actually is getting ready to finish the Realm Reborn story. And if you want to continue past that point, which it takes a while to get here. Even if you play solid for like all day long, it will take you a while to get here. I don't remember what the actual hours is. They actually have a feature now where you can do playtime. I've played this game for 10 days and 19 hours on this character. And yeah, there's been some standing around stuff, but I'm not one of those people that like sits here and goes away from keyboard and for hours on end and then comes back. So that tells you, give or take, like even if you cut that in half, that's still like 6 days straight, So I think it's cool that they added that feature so you get a kind of a general idea of how long it takes. And depending on what kind of job you take, tanks and healers have a lot of responsibility, so not as many people play them. Plus, a lot of people like to hack and slash and attack the shit out of stuff. So, they'd much rather have this big ass bow and be like, you know what, I'm gonna show you who's boss today. Instead of, I'm going to lead the party and please follow me. And no, don't hit that other thing I told you not to hit because now you're going to die and you guys are going to blame me, even though tanking can be really fun. You're supposed to lead, but sometimes it can get iffy. It can be the same way for the healer. Everybody, there's like these unspoken rules of how to play dungeons and special instances with other people, because this is just open world right now. You can get into dungeons where there's specific fights, and you can redo them over and over again, but you have usually about 90 minutes to go through and kill several bosses and mini bosses and things. And it usually doesn't take 90 minutes unless you have a really bad party, but the point is teamwork. You need teamwork, and a lot of people, even if they know how to play their job, it can get kind of iffy. And I'm not moving around, and I apologize. I'm kind of carried away this way, but anyway, because most people don't want the responsibility of keeping everybody alive or leading everybody and having to have the responsibility of everybody on their shoulders. And plus, Bard is fun. Look at all this. All the animation and fancy stuff, and I'm not even hitting anything yet. And this is just the Bard. Kind of like an unsung hero, pardon the pun, of of the DPS. I really love Bard. It's a fun job. I love range, and it was the only range job that was not a mage before Heaven's Word. And speaking of Heaven's Word, that's what this is leading up to. As you play the story, you lead up to here, and eventually you get to go into Ishgard, which is going to be just about as big as the whole Realm Reborn area was before they added this on. And I know I'm just kind of skipping through this really fast, but I've already done it on another character, so I don't really need to see it all again. But as you can see, a lot of the interaction with NPCs is you'll, you'll see words, but they don't actually speak. When you hit Heaven's Word, there is a little bit more talking. Usually on the major scenes that there will be talking with the actual voice acting, but they put a lot of time and money into this game anyway. You gotta pay for voice actors too. That can be kind of expensive, and I don't know. I don't complain too much. I think it's cool when there's voice acting, but I'm not gonna bitch about it too much if they don't have it. But yeah, so you saw that. I have a new duty I can go into, and I just press U, and I can sit here. They have roulettes where you get extra experience. You unlock these as you like. I've done all these dungeons back here. If I have all of these dungeons, I'm able to do like the leveling roulette, which basically means I'm still leveling my character because these characters go up to level 60 now. The old cap was 50, but since the expansion came out and there's so much more new content, they've changed it to 60. And what I can do is I can go in here, and they show a lock right now because I have my bird out. I can't join anything with my bird. He's considered part of my party right now, so it's going to yell at me because he can't go in there with me. He's literally just for like when I'm solo out here by myself. Just nice because I usually play this character by myself if I need a few extra heals, because you can train your birds to either tank, heal, or attack, or a combination of everything. And I've chosen to put all mine into healing, although he'll do little baby attacks that don't really do much, but it's nice because he can kind of give me a little backup. But anyway, back to this. The leveling roulettes are great because they give you extra experience, as you can see, and money. And if you're something that's in need, and this is how you know what's needed, tanks are almost always in need because most people don't want to play them. They want to play the fun DPS jobs. I don't want that responsibility. So tanks always get extra bonuses. They may not get this right here every time because this is kind of like the one-time bonus. You get this once a day, but they will always get extra gil, a little extra. I don't think they get more experience. They'll always get gold, extra gold, I believe, for helping out. And high roulette's very special. High roulette's like when you've done the really, really hard stuff, the hard mode dungeons, the end game, the harder things. And there's even something called expert roulette, which I haven't gotten to. And they kind of rotate the roulettes down as you go. Like you used to they used to call it a low roulette. It was basically like all that stuff right there, you see. All this stuff like leading up to 50. But now leveling roulette kind of goes all the way up to like here because they're level 50, and even though you're not really getting tons of experience from all the enemies in there, you still get experience for killing the bosses. And now all these hard things here are considered part of the higher level roulette, and the expert is like all the new dungeons that are in Heaven's Word. So I don't even have access to expert anymore. But used to, expert was like we'll just pretend because these aren't exactly in order, but like just say it was like these four here, and then all of these were part of hard. But it's because as things get harder, if you really want to be considered an expert, you're going to be doing the newest stuff. So it's not really fair to say that the older stuff is expert anymore. So they kind of rotate it down and pack it down into the former roulettes and you don't get as much experience anymore, but it's still a great way to level your characters, especially when